In this fascinating report, I will compare BYD with Tesla and also these two car companies with the biggest players in the automotive market, Volkswagen, Toyota, and General Motors. However, whilst BYD and Tesla are the only two car companies on the face of the earth who make profit selling electric cars, just over 50% of the vehicles BYD sell are plug-in hybrids. They will in fact eventually have to transition from selling plug-in hybrids to fully electrics by 2030. So that is one challenge that BYD will have to overcome. I spoke to you all recently about comparing Tesla and BYD's profit, but also pointing out the fact that Tesla and BYD are the only two car companies on the face of planet Earth that actually make money selling electric cars. That's true. No one's arguing with me. Sure, there might be some hardcore fanboys here and there, but no one with any brains is saying that's incorrect because it's correct. However, I have not as of yet truly compared Tesla with BYD and shown to you guys just what is really going on, which is quite interesting. Hello my friends and welcome to the channel, The Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans and I'm coming to you here from Melbourne, Australia. Hope you've had an amazing week. And don't take this personally. This video is not me attacking BYD. It's not me attacking anyone. It's simply giving you as much information as possible. So if you are a BYD fan, if you're a hardcore fan, well, you can do either of two things. Not take it personally or turn off this video and go watch a different video because this might not be to your liking. Now, currently BYD sells more plug-in vehicles because about half their cars are plug-in hybrids than Tesla does. And so the mass media has pretty much convinced everyone that BYD has overtaken Tesla in electric vehicle sales. But I don't see it that way. I consider electric vehicles electric only, not plug-in hybrids. I think if you're carrying around an internal combustion engine vehicle, it's not, in my opinion, a fully electric car. But anyway, that's just my opinion. However, in spite of the fact that BYD does now sell more cars than Tesla, Tesla actually makes 11 times more profit. 11 times more. Now, Zachary Strahan reported for Clean Technica that BYD is the only automaker that sells more plug-in vehicles worldwide than Tesla, but fewer fully electric cars. It's also basically the only other profitable electric automaker in the world. In some regards, you can certainly say that BYD is leading the charge in EVs. On the other hand, in terms of pure electrics, BYD trails Tesla by a fair margin. I think it's fair to say. The bigger difference, though, may well be what is happening in their bank accounts. Why? Why does that matter? I mean, why does it matter if BYD doesn't make a lot of profit in comparison to Tesla right now? It matters because if you make more money, you can sell more cars. You can build more factories. You can invest more money into the future. Now, that's not to say BYD isn't investing, because they sure as heck are investing at an incredible rate. I mean, what? Yesterday they just said they're going to build a factory in Thailand. I mean, they're building factories left, right, and center all over China. But at some point in time, their growth will stall a little unless their profits increase in line with their sales as well. EV enthusiast Ray for Tesla had a look at Tesla and BYD's finances and noticed that Tesla rakes in a lot more money. Now, for example, Tesla makes around $10,000 per car, which I've told you guys about in the past. BYD makes just under $1,500 per car. BYD didn't actually make profit from their EVs until about last year, when some Tesla fans were saying that no, BYD didn't make a profit, they were losing money. That wasn't true. They're making a small amount, and as of the first half of this year, they made $1,500 per car. However, looking at revenue, Tesla took in $35.7 billion in the first half of 2022 compared to BYD's $21.8 billion. The difference in terms of profit is more notable though. Tesla brought in $5.6 billion in profits. BYD brought in $0.5 billion. On corporate terms, that's a massive difference. Here's what Ray for Tesla said. This is how the only two profitable EV makers in the world stack up against each other in the first half of 2022, Tesla revenue 35.7 billion and net profit 5.6 billion. BYD revenue 21.83 billion, net profit 0.52 billion. Now, Zachary says something which I don't really agree with, but I'll share it with you anyway. He says that one thing to note, and one thing that may be not appreciated when looking at these numbers, is that BYD is surfing that difficult to navigate wave of closing down its fairly large legacy fossil fuel vehicle business while investing more and more into EVs and expanding its model lineup and production. This has always been the big challenge of legacy automakers, how to phase out their traditional business and replace it with a competing business. BYD primarily switched to plug-in vehicles or new energy vehicles, but it has still not fully completed this process. Well, the truth is BYD stopped selling purely gasoline-powered vehicles by the end of last year. They sold a few of them in January, but it was just leftover stock from when they finished manufacturing those types of vehicles last year. However, BYD, they are repurposing their factories. They didn't make a lot of internal combustion vehicles ever. They've never been a high seller of vehicles, period, in fact. BYD's highest ever sales per year for vehicles globally was 520,000 back in 2010. They nearly met that number in 2018 with 507,000. It's still a pretty small number though in comparison to big automakers like General Motors, Volkswagen and Toyota, who are selling upwards of 7 to 10 million vehicles per year. Transitioning a company from producing, say, 300,000 gas-powered vehicles per year, say 3 or 4 years ago, to today, where, while realistically they're only producing a couple of 100,000 gas-powered vehicles in 2020, it's actually not that big of a transition. And the truth is BYD is actually buying factories, internal combustion engine factories now. They're buying them now because they don't see it that way. They think they can come in and use a factory and repurpose it to make electric vehicles pretty efficiently and pretty quickly. Why can they do that efficiently and quickly? Remember, subsidies in China are enormous. They get them at the state level, they get them at the federal level, they get them at all kinds of levels. They get a huge amount of subsidy in order to repurpose factories to build battery electric cars. Why do they get those? Well, the Chinese government wants to take over the world. So does every government, fair enough. Don't blame them for that. But the point here is they're getting a lot of help to transition from internal combustion to battery electric. And in fact, most of that transitioning actually happened by the end of last year. So I'm not convinced that they're actually spending billions of dollars into transitioning a huge, massive company like GM or Toyota or something, and that therefore they need to write off billions of dollars in losses, because that's not actually true. Now, of course, there's one good point here, which I'm sure some of you have already been thinking. Viking, what are you talking about? Tesla sells premium priced cars. BYD, they compete in areas where they don't sell premium priced cars. Very true. Good point. BYD, in fact, in some ways, is a safer bet. Safer because they have 15 different electric car models. They have a huge number of different models. In fact, in total right now, they have more than 40 different models, because if you include their electric variants versus their plug-in variants, there's quite a lot of different models. That's a good thing and a bad thing. And I pointed this out on the channel many, many times before. The good thing is, well, they don't have to rely on a couple of different models like Tesla. For example, if everyone decided they don't want to buy any Model 3s anymore, Tesla would really only have one car to sell. But it's also a bad thing because it does reduce profits. You need so many more parts. You need so many more parts for servicing, for repairs, for production. It really does mean that your profit per vehicle is down. And there's nothing you can do about that. There's no possible way that I can see that BYD will ever be able to make the profits that Tesla are making today for that key reason. They simply have way too many models. However, the good thing is more choice and more possibility for growth. For growth to the point where they want to be like Tesla. I mean, obviously BYD wants to be one of the biggest car sellers, if not the biggest vehicle seller in the world. They say that next year they're going to produce and deliver 4 million cars. About half will be plug-in hybrids, about half fully electric. That will make them enormous and will put them on path to be possibly the world's biggest or the world's second biggest automaker in 2030. Tesla, on the other hand, can they be the biggest in the world with only 2 models? Of course not. They'll have a number of models by the time 2030 comes around. But they will need to put a fair bit of investment and work into developing, building, and selling those additional models. Now, Regardless of those facts, it's still true that today Tesla is making an insane amount of profit and BYD are not. For example, during the first half of the year, BYD sold 641,350 new energy vehicles, including 323,520 fully electric ones. Tesla sold 564,743 fully electric cars. And as Ray points out, BYD does have a lot more risk of going into the negative rather than making profits, in particular if government policies regarding EVs changed in the face of growing economic woes. Now, this could happen. BYD says they're prepared for it. But for example, if the Chinese government did scrap their current EV incentives, or at least reduce them, it's possible BYD could be making a loss on electric cars, on every electric car that they sell, period. Now, Ray says BYD would have been in the red if lucrative subsidies were removed. In that scenario, Tesla would be the only profitable EV maker in the world. Making compelling EVs is hard. Making good profits without government subsidies is even harder. I hope Warren Buffett has realized that and put his proceeds from BYD sales to work at Tesla. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't think that people should just invest in Tesla. There's a lot of YouTube channels telling you, invest in Tesla. I'm doing it. I'm putting all my life savings in Tesla. I think that's a mistake. Should you invest in Tesla if you want to? If you've done your research and you think you should? Absolutely. You guys know I have done so. But the truth is, BYD and Tesla right now, they are trading at enormous multiples. BYD is trading at a much higher multiple than Tesla. So in theory, BYD stock is actually a little bit riskier than Tesla. But both of them are risky stocks. They're high growth stocks. I don't recommend the average person should do that, should invest in them. Or at least not the average person should invest a large amount of money in them, because the average person can't handle that kind of risk. There's a lot of emotion to control. Seeing the incredible surges, ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. I know many people who have lost money on Tesla stock because they can't handle this. They see Tesla stock go down and they sell because it's difficult to ride the wave, of a growth stock. Now, personally, I'm very bullish on BYD and Tesla. I do own stock in BYD and Tesla. And to my friends that I know can handle that wave, I do recommend buying shares in both of these companies. Why? Because these two companies will be the two largest automakers, supplanting Volkswagen and Toyota by 2030. That's only 8 years away. But the thing is, when that happens, I can guarantee you that BYD and Tesla will be much more vertically integrated. Not only vertically integrated, but they won't just be car companies. They'll be doing a lot of other things in other industries, such as energy distribution, right? Building robots, autonomy. The list goes on and on and on. Now, there's an interesting comment in response to Zach's article, where a guy called Rawls says this: I would argue that for a clearer apples to apples comparison of how each company is doing, it may be better to look at each company's operating income. The revenue minus cost of revenue minus operating expenses. This flushes out one-time charges like for restructuring, as BYD is doing, and one-time gains, as well as multiple other distortions that may occur with accounting adjustments below the line. Tesla's operating income for Q1 plus Q2 2022 was $6.2 billion on $35.7 billion of revenue, or 17.3% margin. BYD's operating income for Q1 plus Q2 2022 was $4.8 billion on $150.2 billion of revenue, or 3.2% margin. Tesla's leverage from the revenue line to the op income line is insane, mostly because it has tremendous pricing power and inelastic demand in most of its markets. BYD has less pricing power because it has much more competition in its primary market and has not yet expanded distribution into North America and Europe. Well, it has expanded into Europe a little bit, but not a lot yet, which are both priced higher and have more unmet EV demand. Now, some of you might be wondering, how do Tesla and BYD compare, or at least how does Tesla compare to other mainstream automakers? Well, Tesla made around $10,000 net profit per vehicle this year so far. GM, Ford, and Volkswagen each averaged only $2,300 net profit per vehicle sale. That's a pretty big difference. Keep in mind, those numbers include internal combustion engine sales for those companies. Here's the big problem, right? EVs from those brands don't make any money. In fact, most analysts say that they lose money on every electric car they sell right now. Porsche, making close to $10,000 US net per car, increases Volkswagen's automotive group's figure up to 2,300. So that 2,300 from Volkswagen is a little bit skewed by the high profit margins that Porsche make. Now, I talked about the number of vehicles BYD plans on selling and delivering next year. Well, what about Tesla? Well, Fremont and Shanghai factories are on track to do around 1.5 million units this year. Austin and Berlin will eventually add around 1.5 to 2 million capacity each, eventually, not next year. That's somewhere up to 5.5 million units per year coming from those 4 factories: Shanghai, Fremont, Austin, Texas, and of course, Berlin in Germany. 5.5 million cars coming from 4 factories. Right now, Tesla could reduce the cost of its cars by 10% or even by 15% and still make far more profit than every other legacy automaker in the world. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. As always, I'm a fan of Tesla and BYD. This video was not to point out that BYD is a bad company or that Tesla is a good company. They're both good companies.